right, thank you very much, Matt. Now we are joined bright and early, well, right here, with Secretary of the Interior Doug Bergum and Congressman Ryan Zinke. Both of you, thank you so much again for being on Montana this morning.
And this is special. This is the first, we have a former Secretary of Interior and current first, and we've known each other a long time. And first time we've been on a TV show together. So it's like you got my mentor here. And
well, we got the North Dakota Montana team. We're talking about bison. We both love bison, but there's a place in a time. Yeah. On a football field, we don't love them so much.
On the football field, it's a different story, to be sure.
But a great team.
That leads me into my first question. I mean, the Bureau of Land Management, and we are also talking about the Department of Interior being so vital to the state of Montana. I mean, with its natural treasures, its earth treasures. Let's talk a little bit about bison. It's one of our natural wonders. I mean, who doesn't love watching those bison? But recently there was some grazing rights in the forefront of the news. So tell me a little bit about your stance on that and what you would say to perhaps people that are in favor of those bison grazing.
Well, it's working its way through the courts right now, but the Department of Interior has made a ruling relative to, it's a 1930 act, the Taylor Grazing Act was designed to help feed America during the Great Depression. And part of that, so the federal government, these lands that were put away for the benefit and the use of the American people, one of those uses of multi-use land like the Bureau of Land Management is grazing, but the grazing specifically in the law says that it needs to go for production, meaning for food production. And so everybody that can graze bison on federal lands, if you're raising them to consume them just like you would a cattle herd. But if you're raising them just because you want to have a wild herd of bison, that doesn't match the law. And we issued that opinion, and that is going to mean the revoking of some bison grazing permits in Montana. But I do want to say we do work, as the former secretary and now congressman knows, Interior works really closely with tribes, and there's 23 tribes in this country that have leases on federal land where they raise bison, but they're actually using it to feed the tribe. So they're all good in terms of the approach they're doing it, but not so if you're just doing a project where all you're doing is rewilding. That doesn't fit the law.
And great point. And tell me a little bit now, kind of transitioning to our more natural resources, mining. In Montana, we have the mining city. We just had Senator Steve Daines on. He's heading over to the Stillwater mine now. There's a lot going on in our mining ecosystem. Congressman Ryan Zinke, tell us a little bit about the Montana delegation's work with palladium over in Russia, the tariffs.
Well, Stillwater, primarily palladium. There's only a few places in the world that provides palladium. And Russia was subsidizing it and knocking our market out. So the president put a tariff in, 132% or so, to bring the palladium prices back, where all of a sudden we're competitive, and it's 700 jobs at Stillwater Mine. But across Montana, you have older tailings that are enriched with critical minerals. You have some great plays in Butte on the wall with zinc and germanium. In Montana, across it is a great opportunity. And there's a place to mine, and there's a place not to mine. And the mining techniques have changed over time. We don't take a paddleboard, up the river with Virginia City anymore. So a lot of these mines are looked at in detail, and they're good projects. And Montana needs to be a part of that for national security. Also, great jobs.
And Montana mining, I mean, it's huge over in the mining city. Of course, Butte has Montana Tech. They have a school of mining, and they're teaching kids and those students those future techniques. You all are heading over that way here fairly shortly, meeting with state leaders in energy and mining. Tell us a little bit about your trip over to Butte.
Well, I just say one of our messages that we're going to have today is because Montana Tech is fantastic, but wow, our country has just completely gotten out of mining, basically. As important it is in Montana, I mean, we have allowed ourselves to become completely dependent on the Chinese Communist Party for critical minerals that we need for everyday life, for your cell phone, for your car, certainly for defense. And part of that is then when you're killing an industry, then people don't go to school anymore to do that. And Montana Tech is one of just a handful of universities in the country that are still giving out mining and metallurgical degrees. This country last year, we produced 36,000 lawyers graduated in our country last year. About 300 people graduated from degrees from places like Montana Tech with a mining or metallurgical degree. So part of the message today is to those students is thank you. They're part of the future of this country. They're part of, without critical minerals, we basically have no national security and we don't have an economy, a modern economy. So we got to get the respect for mining back in. We got to have people understand what the opportunities are, and we got to support places like Montana Tech, which we are. There's already some great relationships between the Department of War and Montana Tech around critical minerals, and we're going to learn more about that today. And you know, Montana is central to the future of this country.
More miners, less lawyers.
Congressman
He said it. You said it more simply and succinctly than I did. I like the way he said it. That was perfect.
Simple. Congressman Zinke, what are you hoping to get out of today? What do you hope to take away with?
Well, you know, a recognition, number one, of what the opportunity is in Montana, and to have the secretary here. That's you know, he's not only the chair of American energy, because the energy makes a difference in mining, but have him here and look at the perspective and see what's new and exciting in Montana. But it's always great to have the secretary here, and you know, Interior matters to Montana. Matters on our water, matters on our wildlife, our outdoor experience, but also matters on our power and energy. So it was great to have him here. I think, you know, we'll look at some specific projects, that what we can do to make sure the permitting process is clean and uninterrupted. And then it's always good just to meet face to face, you know, with people to see what they're struggling with, you know, on a project. A lot of investment, but it's good to talk to the people that are actually doing it, you know, to get the true information.
And one of my messages here is to let people in Montana know how well they're represented in Washington, D.C., because the entire delegation, the two congressmen, the two senators, Governor Greg Gianforte, who I had a chance to work with when I was governor next door. These folks are in there. Greg was just there last week, along with our team, fighting for Montana. And like I say, Montana is going to play a very important role in this country going forward. But they got a great team representing them in Washington, D.C.
Well, Secretary Doug Bergum, Congressman Ryan Zinke, we can't thank you both enough for being here on Montana this morning with us.
Well, I can't thank you enough for serving. Thank you for stepping up.
Thank you for your service. Jane, thank you for having us.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. It's an open door policy, so you all are welcome back anytime you're in the Bozeman neck of the woods. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, Matt's going to have a look at that.